Live from WTOC, the Southeast news leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we'd like to welcome you all to the news on WTOC Plus. We start with this just into our newsroom. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations has confirmed to WTOC that they were requested by the Chatham County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday to investigate an inmate death in Chatham County. For full transparency, that is all we know right now. We are working to collect more details on this developing story. We're going to turn now to national news because a man who says he was detained in connection with the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie has now been released. The developments come after the FBI shared new images yesterday afternoon of an armed, masked person outside the Tucson home of the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie. Andres Gutierrez spoke with the man who was released. He's in Rio Rico, Arizona, with the latest.
I didn't do anything, to be honest. I'm innocent.
A delivery driver named Carlos told us he was the man deputies detained as a person of interest in the Nancy Guthrie case.
He told me to stop moving. What's your name? Carlos. And that's it. They put me in the cop car.
Overnight, the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department searched his home in Rico Rio, Arizona, about an hour south of Tucson and close to Mexico's border. But they released him hours later.
I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
The developments come hours after the FBI released new images captured by a security camera outside Nancy Guthrie's home the night she went missing. The chilling video shows an armed, masked person wearing gloves and a backpack.
They're going to spend hours, if not days, looking into each one of those items, and some are so unique.
Retired FBI agent Lance Lysing says the individual's behavior, such as picking up shrubs to apparently try to cover up the camera, indicates the person is not a professional criminal.
Extremely amateurish. And I do think that it gives investigators hope that if they're amateur at the door, they've made other mistakes.
It's now 11 days since the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie was last seen. Authorities are urging the public to call in any tips that will lead to a break in the case. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Rio Rico, Arizona.
Well, as Valentine's Day quickly approaches, federal investigators are sounding the alarm about romance scams that have devastated thousands of Americans, particularly older adults and those seeking meaningful connections over the holiday. Now, during 2025, the IRS's Criminal Investigation Division initiated more than 3 times as many romance fraud cases compared with the previous year. IRS research found romance fraud often involved money laundering, wire fraud, cryptocurrency misuse, and connections to transnational criminal organizations, all under the IRS investigations. They did offer a couple of tips on how to avoid becoming a victim of a scam. Don't send money, cryptocurrency, or gift cards to someone that you haven't met in person. Don't feel pressured to make rash financial decisions. You should always verify identities through independent, trusted sources. And if something feels off, it probably is. You can also report suspicious information or activity to the IRS or local law enforcement. SPD and CCPD in Chatham County deal with these types of investigations quite often. And you should also be cautious about what you post publicly online. Scammers can use details shared on social media and dating sites to target potential victims. And also be wary if someone tries to isolate you from friends or family or requests inappropriate photos or financial information that could be used for extortion. And as we just mentioned, Valentine's Day is coming up. And according to Bankrate, 45% of people in committed relationships believe they don't know everything about their partner's finances. And more than a third of those folks who were surveyed think that financial infidelity is just as bad as physical cheating. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has some tips for couples trying to work on their finances.
Valentine's Day is approaching, but it isn't just about chocolate and flowers. It's also about open conversations on love and money. Because talking about money can be so uncomfortable, the best place to start is by setting aside a specific time and place to have the conversation. Establish some ground rules. No judgment, just open dialogue to share information. Start with the basics. Create or update a balance sheet. That's what you own and what you owe. Then take a closer look at how you spend. Track your cash flow instead of trying to stick to a rigid budget that's hard to maintain. And play to each other's strengths. If one handles day-to-day bills, that works. If the other manages investments, that's fine too. But information has to be shared. The key is checking in on your progress, ideally once or twice a year. A good time to do that is right after tax filing season. If, despite your best intentions, you can't talk about money with your beloved without sparks flying, maybe look to an expert like a CFP or a CPA who can help set common goals and find solutions that can work for you both. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and add one more tip to that. If you don't want your relationship to be torn apart by finances, you could just say stay single. It's worked out pretty well for me so far. All right, turn into state news. We have a more detailed look at the document used to authorize the raid at the Fulton County Elections Hub late last month. The affidavit allowed the raid was unsealed last night. According to the document, the FBI's investigation originated from a referral sent in by Kurt Olson. He's the Director of Election Security and Integrity appointed by President Donald Trump. The affidavit also alleges that during the recount of the 2020 election, there were nearly 18,000 missing ballot images. However, Fulton County election officials maintain that the election was fair and secure, and it's been audited multiple times to verify the results. This afternoon, farmers are asking state lawmakers for help as family-owned farms across Georgia continue to take hits. Several farmers parked their tractors outside the state capitol, silently announcing their presence under the Gold Dome. Inside, more than 600 farmers, students, and families met face-to-face with lawmakers yesterday. Many said they're deciding whether they can afford to plant in the spring or if they need to sell the land that's been in their family for generations.
Farmers always got hope for a better crop next year, but it looks pretty tough right now.
They're desperate. They're looking for all the resources financially that they can find anywhere.
Farmers say they're hoping lawmakers pass bills that include disaster relief funding and resources for agriculture and forestry. Staying in state news, early voting begins Monday in the special election to replace former Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. 20 candidates are in the race. Election day is March 10th, but because there are so many candidates, a runoff election is all but certain and has already been set for April 7th. On the ballot are 15 Republicans among the 20 total candidates. Several Republican candidates participated in a debate last night in Kennesaw at the Governor's Gun Club. In national news, Attorney General Pam Bondi testified on Capitol Hill today as the Justice Department faces pushback over the latest release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Survivors of the late convicted sex offender are questioning extensive redactions in the DOJ files, and why a number of documents are still being withheld. Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
This is not an issue that's going away. And we're not going to stop.
Survivors of Jeffrey Epstein are demanding answers from the Justice Department about what some lawmakers estimate are 2.5 million documents still being withheld related to the convicted sex offender's case.
The DOJ needs to do its job. Give us the rest of the files and start the investigations.
Their pleas came ahead of Attorney General Pam Bondi's testimony before the House Judiciary Committee, where she faced questions about the DOJ's handling of the files.
You apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through?
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
Survivors, in a new letter to Attorney General Bondi, say the files remain incomplete in a way that is both, quote, staggering and indefensible.
We've released more than 3 million pages, including 180,000 images, all to the public, while doing our very best in the time frame allotted by the legislation to protect victims.
Survivors allege the redactions protect some high-profile individuals while at the same time revealing some victim names and exposing identifying information.
Abusers' names and contact information is redacted while our faces and stories are left on full display. This is not protection. This is betrayal.
The Department of Justice maintains it's working to identify, review, and redact any potential victim information. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, back here at home, this is happening today. A powerful community resource is being celebrated for the impact it makes on thousands of lives here in the Coastal Empire. The 211 Helpline is a free and confidential lifeline for people searching for help and resources. The service is provided by the United Way of the Coastal Empire, and to celebrate its impact, United Way is marking the occasion with a celebration at Starland Yard. Local artist Inky Brittany will unveil a new piece inspired by the real-life stories behind 211, made possible through the City of Savannah's Weave a Dream program. The free community celebration runs from 5:30 until 7 o'clock tonight. Well, Memorial Health has announced a new chief operating officer. Joel Leone will be responsible for leading hospital operations at Memorial Health University Medical Center. Leone previously served as COO at HCA Florida Gulf Coast Hospital. He provided administrative leadership for hospital operations and service lines, including spinal surgery and orthopedics. A press release from Memorial Health states Leone also executed strategic growth initiatives, provided support for medical staff relations, and led major service expansions and construction projects totaling $93 million in capital investments. All right, this is a fun story. Prom, is a rite of passage for many high schoolers, and one Long County High School senior is making sure that the cost of a dress doesn't keep her peers from the dance floor. Take a look.
Let's see.
Sorting through the seams.
I tend to like bright, vibrant colors.
Reveal rows of sequins.
Really something for everybody.
And second chances.
We transport it all by hand, me and my mom.
Donated dresses.
We have over 100 dresses.
A moment stitched together.
I collected them in one guest bedroom in my house.
By Long County senior Brianna Copes.
Prom is expensive, and I don't think anybody should have to worry about that.
Prom.
Faith is a very big part.
With a purpose.
Well, I believe that God has put in everybody on the earth for a certain purpose. I feel like my calling is to serve and give back to others.
A picture-perfect moment for students across the region.
You just put it on and just instantly smile. I think that makes it your dress.
Finding themselves in the reflection.
I believe that this is a confidence booster for you to create memories with your friends before you leave this chapter of your life and enter into the next chapter.
Dressed to dance for their special night.
It shows her compassion, her generosity, and it shows her heart.
All sparked by one sleepless night.
I was just sitting in my bed. It was after I was prom dress shopping last year. And I realized how expensive prom was. And I was like, well, not many people have the opportunity to go just get a dress like me and other people.
Proving priceless moments.
It's more so like who you hang out with and what you do.
Don't require pricey dresses.
You go, you eat, you have fun, and you dance. Nobody's really gonna look at the dress. But like, the dress just makes it extra special for like the photos and memories and stuff.
And I want to keep on impacting my community and surrounding counties because I want this to be able to reach everyone.
Jude Binkley, WTOC News.
And finally, here on WTOC Plus, this one means a lot to me. South Georgia is getting its first Raising Cane's. The popular chicken finger chain opened its first regional location on Tuesday in Valdosta, so a little ways away. It's on St. Augustine Road. The grand opening on Tuesday featured a lot of giveaways, including free canes for a year, as well as some other promotions with their box combos. The new restaurant includes local tributes and a double-lane drive-thru. I really like Raising Cane's. It's been a staple of my life. I had it catered at my high school's grad party. Valdosta is still a ways away, so I crunched the numbers, and here in Savannah, our nearest Raising Cane's is still the one in North Charleston. I would love to see one come to Savannah, though. I love Raising Cane's so much. Best chicken fingers, in my opinion. I'll leave it at that, though. All right, with that, we're going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. We'll be back in 45-ish minutes for Welcome to Our Community with Dawn Baker. And in the meantime, you can always check out our website for the latest updates at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.